So we have a question from an O-level past paper of the year 2020. The session is October-November. This is the last question of this paper, question 10. We'll be discussing average speed, time, distance, and solving some equations. I have the question in front of me. Let's get started. So Amira drives to work, and she takes a journey of 40 kilometers to work. Amira takes X minutes to drive the first 30 kilometers of the journey. Show that her average speed in kilometers per hour for the first 30 kilometers of the journey is 1800 over X. Okay, in order to find the average speed, you need to divide the total distance by the total time taken. So this is what you do. Average speed equals distance. This is the total distance over time. This is the total time. Okay, now the distance is 30 and the average and the total time that she takes is, how much is that? X over 60, because X is the number of minutes, and if you divide that by 60 you'll get the number of hours. You'll be converting that into hours. So this is what happens. So 30 gets multiplied by 60 and then gets divided by X. 30 times 60 is 1800. 1800 divided by X, that is your answer. Okay, so this is the average speed. The next part of the question says, Amira's average speed in kilometers per hour for the final 10 kilometers of the journey is 600 over X minus 25. Her average speed for the first 30 kilometers of the journey is 8 kilometers slower than her average speed for the final 10 kilometers. Form an equation in X and show that it simplifies to X squared plus 125X minus 5625 equal to 0. Okay, so if I draw a bar and label this as the first 30 kilometers and this as the final 10 kilometers of the journey, the average speed for this part is 1800 over X, whilst the average speed for this part is 600 over X minus 25. Now, you should remember this part of the question where it says that the journey in the start is 8 kilometers slower than the journey at the end. So that means if you subtract 600 over X minus 25 and 1800 over X, the answer that you should get is 8. Okay, now let's find the LCM. For the first part, the LCM is X and X minus 25. I can write it like that. 600 gets multiplied by X, so you get 600X. Then 1800 gets multiplied by X minus 25, so you get negative 1800X plus 45,000 equal to 8. Now you can cross multiply this. When you do that, you have 600X minus 1800X plus 45,000 equal to 8X squared minus 200X in this case. Yeah, that is correct. Now we bring this part of the equation to the right hand side. So you get 8X squared minus 200X minus 600X plus 1800X minus 45,000 equal to 0. Okay, so 8X squared, nothing happens to that. You get 8X squared right there. Negative 200X minus 600X plus 1800X gives you positive 1000X minus 45,000 equal to 0. Now, in order to simplify this, I can take 8 as the common factor out of this equation. So I will be left with X squared plus 125X minus 5625 equal to 0. This 8 can be moved to the other side and divided by 0. So you get nothing from that. So your final answer is X squared plus 125X minus 5625 equal to 0, and this is the same as this, so it is proved. Let's move to the next part of the question. The next part of the question says, solve the equation x squared plus 125x minus 5625 equal to 0. Show your working, give each answer correct to one decimal place. Okay. In order to do that, the simplest way of doing this is using the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is negative b plus minus under root b square minus 4 times ac over 2a. Now b in this case is 125, so you write negative 125 plus minus b square, that means 125 squared minus 4 times negative 5625, okay, over 2. Perfect. Now when I further simplify this, this is what I get. I get negative 62.5 because I'm removing the fraction, like I'm removing the denominator, so this is what I'm left with, negative 62.5 plus minus, and inside the bracket you have 9531.25. Now if you solve this further, you will get the values of x, which in this case are negative 160.1 and 35.1. So you write the values down here. You write negative 160.1 and 35.1. The next part says it takes Amira 25 minutes less to drive the final 10 kilometers than it takes for the first 30 kilometers. Calculate Amira's average speed in kilometers per hour for the whole journey. Now remember this, in order to calculate the average speed for the whole journey, the formula is you take the total distance and you divide it by the total time taken. Let's write it down. So the average speed is calculated by the total distance divided by the total time. Now this journey is broken down into two parts because she changes speed for the first 30 and the next 10 kilometers. So let's find the time taken for the first 30 kilometers. So the time taken for 30 kilometers, again you divide the total distance by the average speed. So the total distance for the first 30 kilometers was of course 30, and you divide that by the time the average speed, which was 1800 over x. When you do that, you multiply 30 with x, you get 30x and over 1800. Now you simplify this, you get x over 60. Now in the previous part we calculated that the value of x was negative 160.1 and 35.1. We use the positive value because time time is never negative. It's never negative 2 seconds, never negative 5 seconds. So we plug in the value of 35.1 in place of x and you divide that by 60. The final answer that you get in this case is 0.585 hours. Okay, the time taken for the next 10 kilometers can be found by dividing the total distance, which is 10 of course, being divided by the average speed, which is 600 over x minus 25. When you multiply this, when you flip the fraction at the bottom, you get 10x minus 250 over 600. When you simplify it, you get x minus 25 over 60. Okay. Again, you substitute the value of x, so you do 35.1 minus 25 over 60, and you get, in this case, the value that you get is 0.16833 hours. Now, since we have the total time, we need the average speed of the whole journey. So we do, in order to find the average speed of the whole journey, we divide the total distance by the total time taken. Sorry, one second. The total time taken is 0.585 hours plus 0.16833 hours. When you solve this, you get 53.1 kilometers per hour. So you write that answer right here, 53.1 kilometers per hour. I hope this question made sense. The complete working of this question is present in the description below for you to download. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching.